I'm sending you a 8-digit and then you will do the one you can remember easily. But before I send you the 8-digit, we need to terminate the old one. Which one were you using before, the 6 digits?
My PIN?
Yeah.
No, I cannot give you my PIN.
Every day, thousands of Kenyans are falling prey to such scams.
So a lot of people are getting scammed because they're not aware of the little things or the little changes that are coming in. People are being social engineered. Until today, social engineering is still a thing. And what I mean by that is somebody calling you or asking you to give the details. And they pretend to be a bank, they pretend to be an e-commerce shop, and you get scammed.
According to the PwC Global Economic Crime and Fraud Survey, 36% of the respondents from Kenya experienced economic crimes and lost 10 million shillings, with 2% reporting to have lost an excess of 500 million shillings.
The worst part is now people who are actually doing phone calls. So they call you, say they pretend to be from the bank, they give you so many offers, there's a new offer that is there, or they say things like they want to get you to they want to change some card details because your card has been compromised and everything. Most people actually fall for it and they easily give out the details. So they ask you your date of birth, or sometimes they can even confirm that because you've left your ID somewhere at a building and they've collected all that information. I'm not saying give the wrong details, but majority of the time I feel that's where they get information from a lot of buildings, and they take that information, they take your phone number, they know your full names because your ID number also, they know it. So somebody confirming those small details makes you feel like it's actually real, and you give out your details, like your M-Pesa details or your PIN numbers, and there's a very high chance that PIN number you have used has been used almost everywhere else. Where some people are very successful in doing SIM swaps, they find a way to replace a SIM through an agent who allows them to do that. There's a lot of collaborations between agents and these fraudsters. So that's the easiest way that is coming right now. It's happening too much, and we just have to be aware and be alert on the new methods they're using. They're getting confident, and then when they call, they're not going to slow down on how they want to actually get to scam you.
According to Anthony Mwai, an expert in electronic security, online transactions can be safe only when you take certain precautions, especially when shopping online.
The less you give, the better. I'm on the opinion that especially when using these e-commerce websites, I don't fill in all the details they ask for the obvious reasons. I don't know where they're going to store it, how they're going to use it. So I try and use as least as possible. I won't give them my address per se. I won't give them all my names and IDs, numbers. I'll try and give them as little as possible, enough for me to make that transaction. Simply because there are so many e-commerce platforms coming up, and they're not as much regulated. I can open up a shop and I can put in e-commerce platform and I can ask you for all your data so I can tie you down. So my intention is to tie you down. But for the user, I'm only coming into that site to buy a piece of furniture that I'll not have to come back again. So the less you give, I think the better it is.
Dr. Bright Gameli says you should be vigilant, especially when shopping online.
A typical example is somewhere on Instagram. I saw a lot of people complaining about having pages that are saying they're selling shoes or bags, and when they place orders, they say you have to pay before you get your order. Or once you pay, the good does not come. These people don't have a physical shop. They change the name of their page so fast, so quickly that you don't get any response back, and you're paying without a pay bill. You're paying directly to a phone number, which means they can switch off that phone number for the next 2 months. You'll get frustrated. You don't call them back.
So how do you verify pages online?
Majority of the time, you can check to see if their account has been changing over time, like the new names have been coming very often. That is one. Sometimes you might not be able to check. So that doesn't mean if you cannot check, that means the page is legit. No. Sometimes you have the page even verified. People have verified pages and they tell you to actually do it. However, I would say the first thing to do, if they tell you to before the goods are delivered, refuse that. Yeah. Make sure they deliver the goods and you pay. I know this is a little risk there for the person selling as well, but the thing is, there's more risk to the person who's paying for the goods. because the person who is delivering or the rider has to make sure that you have paid and show a confirmation message before he releases the goods. So if the person has not paid, then you don't. So it basically solves the part of the person selling and the person buying. It also be aware that paying to phone numbers is a risk. You have to pay to a pay bill number or a till number where you can actually have some verification. Some of the criminals are getting very confident on having multiple bank accounts where they register till numbers to, which allow the pay bill numbers to, which is going to a bank account. So that is another confidence they're having. But I say insist on paying when the goods are being delivered, and not when they actually tell you to pay later. To pay before the goods have to be delivered. A lot of people are being conned on that on social media platforms. And trust me, for me, I say if they have conned you and you have not gotten what you wanted, report them. Report them to the police if you have to. Share that information out there on other social media platforms. Let people get to know that these people are actually scamming you.
And how can companies protect themselves online?
You've got to have the right security solutions that is updated, well maintained, and then also how you distribute this data within your cloud. Don't just dump it into one folder, have it spread. And actually, if you're able to spread this information across different locations and different servers, that's good. So you have like 4 servers, one for HR, one for legal, one for finance. And then also you have all these backed up somewhere else differently. That's not accessed by anyone. And then having backups every other day, just to make sure that should anything happen locally, your data is kind of secured fine. You'll continue to run, even though you may have been compromised. But then again, if you have the right security solutions, then hopefully you'll be in the right space.